What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Our final first transfer thoughts of the season. It is game week 38. The final week of the season is here. Well done all of you for pushing through and making it this far. Today we're going to have a look at my team, my thoughts for my final transfers going into game week 38. Let me know any questions you've got. How are you getting on so far in game week 37 in the comments? Again, well done for making it this far. It has been a long and grueling season and one game week left, so let's make it a good one. My team up on screen now. I have one free transfer, no money in the bank, and I'm ranked about 2k in the world. Again, I'm recording at halftime in the Everton versus Brentford game. I didn't captain Richarlison, unfortunately, but I do own him in my free hit. If you want to see my free hit, go and watch my last team selection. It's going okay, not brilliant. Captaincy was on Ings, wish I'd put it on Richarlison, but let's see how the rest of the game week goes. So I'm currently lined up with a 5-4-1 with a yellow flag currently on Salah, Pukki, Dennis and Gordon on the bench. So we have triple Liverpool in Trent, Robertson and Salah. We have James and Alonso from the Chelsea defenders, Cancelo as well. Schmeichel in goal, Son, Kulusevski, Saka and Richarlison at the moment. So the things that I look at this team and I think straight away, I don't have any Manchester City attack in here going into their final game where they just need a point but will definitely want to be showing up. I only have single Manchester City defence, so I do think there is an opportunity to add more Manchester City into my lineup. There is also a room for maybe Harry Kane in there. I don't love Richarlison, especially if Everton are safe going into the final game of the season, whereas Arsenal will need a win if they do want to go into the Champions League. So I may look to move on Richarlison. There is talk about whether Schmeichel starts that last game at home. They have said that they will rotate goalkeepers, and given that Schmeichel had to start today because Danny Ward got an injury, Schmeichel may get a rest going into the final game of the season. Foster could come in, but he is away at Chelsea, so I might have to think about that, but it doesn't really feel like a useful transfer given I only have one transfer, and it would be a -4 basically if I wanted to sell one of my goalkeepers. So this is how my team is lining up, but let's have a look at some of the players that I'm transferring out potentially, and those players that I really want to own going into the final week of the season. Potentially some punts, potentially some differentials to hopefully get into that top 1k or just assure my finish in the top 5k. So in terms of potential transfers out, there are 4 players that I'm really looking to sell. Salah, again, a lot of my transfer plans will wait and be dependent on whether Salah is available and fit to play on the final day at home to Wolves. If he's fine to play, there's no real reason for me to go selling him, although I could use it as a transfer to downgrade, to upgrade elsewhere, but I don't think it's really worthwhile if he's going to be fit. Next in, we have Richarlison. As I mentioned, I'm not a massive fan of that Everton fixture away at Arsenal on the final day. Richarlison has looked really good, so if I had to play him and I didn't want to take a -4, then great, I could start him, but I do think Arsenal will be really fighting at home on the final day to get that win, which could secure them Champions League. Again, I'm recording before the Arsenal versus Newcastle game on Monday night. If they do drop points there, then it does look out of their control with Spurs going to Norwich on the final day of the season. But again, I think Arsenal will really need a win in that match. Next up, we've got James. I don't really think he's a priority sell, but I do think there's a chance that if he starts against Leicester, then there's a chance that he maybe doesn't play on the final day of the season. Although, given it being the final home game, I expect a full Chelsea lineup on that Sunday to give the fans a good send-off after a good enough season for Chelsea. I've not been that hopeful going into it, especially with the second half of the season with the injuries we had. So to get to 2 cup finals, I think they'll be happy, but a final send-off at home. The final one we've got is Dennis. Because he is injured, I may just look to sell him in order to, bench someone else in my starting lineup. For example, I could just bench Richarlison and then sell Dennis, for example. So Dennis with a red flag at the moment could also go. In terms of those players that I'm considering transferring into my team, so as I said, I've got very little Manchester City in there, only Cancelo, who is very highly owned at the moment. Foden is one that I could easily get to as a downgrade of Salah. I could go Salah straight to Kevin De Bruyne as well, but then it may allow me to do another transfer. So Foden, probably the one that I'm looking at. Given that he didn't start today, I'd expect him to start at home to Aston Villa on the final day. Kevin De Bruyne did play much deeper today. Whether that changes going into Aston Villa, I don't know, but it is a bit of a risk, and it may mean that I favour going for Phil Foden for that final match. Next to him, we have Harry Kane, who did score in game week 36. Norwich at home is a great fixture for them. They, again, will be needing to win if they do want to have a chance of getting into the Champions League. I do already have Son and Kulusevski, so do I want triple Tottenham? But it is one of the best, if not the best fixtures that you could properly hope for at the moment, along with that sort of Chelsea being at home to Watford, are the 2 best fixtures of the week. So I could easily bring in Harry Kane, for example, do Salah down to Foden, or Richarlison to Harry Kane, for example. Both of these moves are definitely ones I'm considering considering. In defence, again, I'd probably look to add another Manchester City option. Zinchenko is probably the one I'd go for because of his attacking threat getting up the left-hand side. I could go safer with Laporte. I could go Ake if he's likely to be fit, but it'd be Zinchenko or Laporte that I'd really be looking at. But this feels very luxury and only would be the case if I'm absolutely certain that Reece James is not going to play this week. And then the cheap forward that I would go with is probably Nketiah. 5.6 million now would be a great enabler. Easy for me to move Dennis to him. He has a good fixture at home to Everton. Again, if Everton are safe from relegation going into that game, I think that Arsenal will win that game comfortably 2 or 3-0. So going for Nketiah, given how he has performed in recent games for Arsenal, I think could be a really nice transfer. So these are some of the potential transfer moves that I'm thinking about, but let's have a look exactly what I am considering going into Game Week 38 and my first transfer plans. So my team lines up as it is on screen. Salah is really what it depends on. Do I think he's going to start? And given that they have Champions League very soon after the final Game Week 38 fixture, I do think there's a good chance that maybe he's rested, although he did seem to presume that he would be fit for that Champions League final, so maybe they want some minutes under his belt against Wolves at home. A lot of it will depend on him. What I do, I like the rest of my team, but at the moment, I do think if Salah is out, that I will take that -4, and I will do Salah out to Foden, and I will do Richarlison out to Harry Kane for a -4 to give me the team looking like this. Of course, no transfers will be made until right before the deadline on Sunday morning. There will be a deadline stream as well. There'll be videos between now and then giving players for you to pick, giving my team selection as well. So do wait, but at the moment I'm thinking about that. If Salah is going to be fit, I think Richarlison to Nketiah is probably going to be my one free transfer, and then I won't go for another Manchester City option and I won't go for another Tottenham option. So at the moment, those are my first transfer plans. If Salah is out, it's likely to be a -4, although I could just go Salah to De Bruyne, but I do think Foden and Kane would be a really nice -4 to take. If he is fit, then it could just be a single transfer of Richarlison out. Let me know your thoughts about my team, any questions you have going into the final game week of the season. Again, well done for making it all this far. Thank you all so much for your support this season. We are closing in on 18k subscribers. I don't think we'll get there by the end of the season, but hopefully quickly into the preseason. By a massive thank you to all of you for your support during this season. Some very exciting things to come at the beginning of next season as well. So stay tuned for that. Turn on notifications, subscribe if you haven't already. Please do like the video, and we'll be back again very soon.